unfortunately. If une-stress sama-finances, awuzulala. Umama uzothi uyakuthinta yeyi uzombokela ngolaka olungakaze libonakale. Environmental factors, izinto esizihogelayo, unfortunately with civilization abanye bakhulume ngemali which esibeke la sikhona. We want to try siphande for abantwana and all that. I know a lot of us work in the office environment. Psychological stress as la office is so much kuthina, and if we don't have indlela yokuthi si control all these factors, occupational factors, izinto zasemsebenzini, emotional factors, spiritual factors, before size kulomuntu physical osekufanele ukuthi ayogiya ekhaya. All these things, unfortunately, zinomthelela, and it's very important for us to have this crucial understanding so that I know ukuthi historically or even in culture perpetuates that men suffer in silo. Then we seek help, you know, in other avenues in terms of our well-being, so that we can be whole. So last is just physiologically. I'm just not gonna go into much details, but if physiology is in such a way that, you know, when God created us, we should think that, okay, certain medications or testosterone injections, unless there is a part of physiology, which means that there is now something that has gone wrong with the functioning of the body. You know, umzimba womuntu wesilisa or wesifazane unakho konke. You know, it's interesting ukuthi naturally the body even produces certain siwabiza ngama pheromones. Even before you approach them, you already know them as a man. And this is just the strange thing that is in the body, that the Creator has put in the body. So lama pheromones are also very important to facilitate intimacy. And environmental factors, things that we are exposed to, pollution in the environment, stress, pressure, and all these things, unfortunately, they affect this chemical environment, this balanced chemical environment which is in our bodies, which is very important with sexuality, especially when it comes to men, because intimacy. So I'm going to look at these 4 stages of intimacy. So okubalekile is that one has a desire. The first stage is the desire, or libido. Scientifically, it is controlled by the principal hormone, which is testosterone. So sometimes we find that conditions that may reduce testosterone emzimbeni, they make a man to be less desirable. It can happen with age. So the good news is that doctors have the solution. You can replace testosterone. It's not a train smash. So it is also important that testosterone is also responsible for sperm production. And masculine sperm production, we are not speaking about the fluid that comes out when you ejaculate, but we are speaking about the seed to produce, because it's kwama, you know, we conference bread, but you never ask partner, okay, what is it that you like? And this is a very important and crucial thing. Also, most of our sexual health, including satisfaction, including you know, pleasure that we should fully enjoy out of this beautiful gift that we have, or with sexuality. We don't, because we are so conditioned. Our minds are so conditioned. The moment it's sex, you know, it's a subject that we have not even attempted as amadoda to explore in our homes. Yet, ubaba ute, we are leaders in our homes, I need. So that's why women will put unnecessary expectations on you, because you don't speak about these things. Now, they also suffer in silence, trust me. They drink all sorts of things. Joba sends really sends over maputin emwabedi. La zenzeka khona. So in fact, we are looking at these 4 stages of the actual sex, the act, what happens scientifically. It's very important for us as odokotela because this is scientific evidence, and it's crucial that we know, so that if you have a problem in any of these stages, there is medical solution to assist you with regards to their problem. So abanye, like I said, it's actual desire that's not there. If the desire is there, there is excitement stage. Obviously, when you see something visual or all these influences, they trigger in the brain, that excitement stage, which can lead to arousal or erection. And then obviously there's penetration. Understand that your gun, I'm going to refer to it as your gun. So in male genitalia, it has a lot of blood supply, it has a lot of nerve supply. So every condition that affects nerves that affect blood supply, even our lifestyle, they affect less stage, because for us to have a full erection, to maintain this full erection and be able to satisfy a partner and get to a stage say orgasm where you actually it's a lot of work that comes from the body, from the brain, from the spinal cord. There is a lot of contractions that happen in emzimbeni. It's amazing that I read another study that was saying that if umuntu eboshiwe, like depending on how people do izinto ze sex, abanye abantu they explore babophane benze zonke izinto ukuthi umuntu can actually die at the stage se organism where you find the brain is so triggered in such a way that everything just explodes. Your blood vessels will explode. Because it's stage lesi osuke umzimba wakho uexpressa lokho osuke uexpressa ngaleso sikhathi, and then the person goes back to what we call resolution, where umzimba wakhe goes back to to the normal stage. Please indicate to me with isikhathi. I'm very mindful of time because I know we started a bit late. Can go on. Yeah, so as I've mentioned, pathophysiology is when any part of this can go wrong. So from the desire, where there is lack of desire or interest, to even arousal disorders, where just physically someone is unable to be aroused. The wife will wear the lingerie and try to wear maybe sesiside isikhathi bathi ukuhlangana nobaba sekhaya, but not because you are upset or anything, nothing is just happening, and that is very common. Sometimes with age, no mama can say uncomfortable now, so it's sitting. Mina ngifuna ukwenza lento le ngale ndlela yami, mina nobabili ngizozwa ngami, mina sifam, so uthola ukuthi abanye they suffer with pain, both abantu besilisa, mostly abantu besifazane, because abantu besifazane unfortunately, as obaba njoba ekhulumile ubaba ukuthi you are leaders, even with this beautiful gift of sex, men take the lead. So the imzimba yabantu besifazane, when the gun is ready to shoot and everything, unfortunately the woman, it doesn't work that way. Umuntu wesifazane, that's why ngiyithanda abantu abasebenzisa igama elithi inkonzo, ukuthi women physiologically, the way that they are built, you invite them, like how you preach to someone. You preach to them, and then, they see this thing, imzimba yabo, in fact, that's how the body is wired. Women respond to touch, they are very emotional beings. When at 3 o'clock the gun is, but for women it's not the same. So especially touch and foreplay is the key to umuntu wesifazane ukuze nibe kwi-pace efanayo. Because sometimes you find there are no sexual problems, but the woman is not on, and akazi ukutshela umuntu uyasaba. So it's like, how so it's all those things. It boils down to communication. That if we don't communicate, unfortunately, and all these meets, that's all not true, because even as partner, it can happen. Organism later. So in 99% of chances. So looking at this broad subject of sexual health and wellness, it's important. I've highlighted just a few things, that all these things, they contribute to sexuality. And pheromones, mostly, even sense of smell are the things that are aroused. So hygiene, because ungagezile ufika unobumjuluko, like it turns the woman off. Singaze sifuna odokotela, sifuna ukubiza odokotela, ngena nje eshaweni ugeze ngeluka kamnandi, ufake iperfume engathi uyahamba kanti uzoyingenela uyazi mambani ukuthi ugcotheleni. Ungene nje adideke lo mama uma ungena embhedeni uthi kwenzakaleni namhlanje, wanuka iperfume ziyakhala, and things ezinye ezincane, I don't know, but I always say, why do men sleep with pajamas? Like especially in a marriage setting, la khona beshadile, like why do you sleep with pajamas? Because uzophinda wakhumule. Same thing nomkakho. Akubaba ngimthandile uma yenzene babe nqunu. Akithi babe njani uAdam noEva? Babe njani? Ukuthi ushonile. Babeze. I can give when they can. That's how God has created the first couple. So why are you going to bed with pajamas and hoods and socks? And it's very important for you guys as males, because umzimba, the male body, especially the gun, is very sensitive to heat. The gun is not going to do its job when it's too warm. It needs that cool temperature. So you can imagine the gun with 2 pairs of pajamas. How is the gun going to work? The gun is not going to work. So it is into ezinjalo, guys, that unfortunately, you would get to the point where you spend exorbitant amounts of money thinking that you are trying to fix the problem, while you are part of the problem that you have. So mental health, is a very big other thing that men ignore, that, contributes to sexuality. We've touched a little bit on stress, finances, and dealing with these issues. Dental issues, amazinyo, how you smile to mama, eye care, skin care, are all these factors that are important to you, but also to your compatible partner. Ukuthi, izinto esingayinaki lezi as amadoda, uyinake nje uyithande, as a man. And ngokuqala uthanda umzimba wakho, you love yourself even nomuntu ozoba naye nobudlelwano, because unfortunately, as Ubud eshilo, the danger is sometimes because of frustrations, and at home, it's very easy for you to your partner, and you find that when you are completely asymptomatic, and umama la usekhase phansi discharge, then where this discharge is coming from, and ngempela was. So it's hygiene, and circumcision is very encouraged for obaba. I know it's got a lot of things about You know, abanye, they just don't know the sense of it. Abanye bathi okay, ngeke ngisayithola ingane or izoshintsha indlela engihlangana nayo ubudlelwane bami nomuntu wami, and all those things are not true. Even for medical reasons, abanye uthola ukuthi isikhumba lesijwabu or the foreskin is too tight. You pull it with difficulty or you push it with difficulty. So in those things, a medical circumcision is very recommended because it's not just you know, a problem. In fact, you run even a risk where a foreskin can be stuck. So when it's stuck over the gun, then you can lose the gun itself because it can compromise the blood supply. And if you know, you are thinking, oh no, let me wait, that waiting can actually mean a detriment of your sexual organs. So it's also important to speak about izinto esibizwa conditions of the prostate because they affect even our sexuality. So umuntu wesilisa, you have that organ that is called the prostate. I'm just gonna go forward in my slide. This is just a basic anatomy of the male organ. I'm going to refer it that way. There's a lot of nerves with spine, there's a lot of activity in the brain, there's a lot of chemicals that all together agcina ezokwenza ukuthi umuntu wesilisa abe ne-erection. And also, njengoba ngishilo ukuthi sengichazile kuslide esingaphambili in terms of physiology, that all these interactions are important. I-prostate ke abantu besilisa, they have urinary issues. Sometimes it's like feeling like going to the loo all the time, especially men who are like from the ages of 45 and above, some men even younger. So it's important to check your prostate. So it can be infections, it can just be enlargement. For some reason, a lot of men experience the enlargement of the prostate. Sometimes there is no medical illness as such. It's a gland, and it decides to be enlarged, and it can interfere with ejaculation, erection, and the sexual desires as a whole. So encourage kakhulu indaba yokuthi as abantu besilisa go for checkups. It's a very easy test. I know ukuthi abantu besilisa are very sensitive ekuthintweni. So examination ye prostate, in fact it's a rectal examination, which means udokotela uzayizwe fanele afake isandla ngemuva umunwe ngemuva. But the good news, okay, the good news, let me share the good news. The good news is that we can just pull a blood test where we do a test, and that test is very specific. If it's raised to some degree, it can tell us, okay, it's just an enlarged prostate that you don't need to worry about. But if the test is, you know, exponentially high in terms of results, it can tell us to worry about things like prostate cancer, and early intervention. Doctors can be able to advise you, you know, to do a prostate ultrasound and the likes to try and visualize the prostate and be able to treat our problems much earlier. Any issue is the issue of infertility. That a lot of men ababathola abantwana. It's a reality. And unfortunately, because the only person that we now see pregnant is a woman, we expect umama ukuthi abe pregnant. And infertility is a very serious thing that has robbed a lot of marriages, where you find that the in-laws come in and they now are hostile to this poor woman, but the person onesituba sewuba umuntu onesidi uzoyikhulelisana umuntu wabantu, you know. And uthola umuntu uthi uyidefenda ngokuthi emaye efike nengane useloyebambelele ngale ngane afika nayo ukuthi hayi ngafika nengane mina ekhaya. But in reality, if infertility is a problem ye couple. So medically, when we approach infertility, we look at a couple and we are very specific in defining infertility. You can't just move and somewhere and then be infertile. It's not true. Infertility is defined as not being able to produce an offspring, where you find a couple, they are living together, frequently, you know, sexual frequency of at least once a week, or even more, because I keep prescription as well when it comes to sexual intimacy. Imzimba yethu ayifani, that's why ngishilo ngathi njengoba umzimba wakho ungafani nokapartner wakho wenza ufuna everyday kanti upartner owakho umzimba ukho lapho, and siyibridge kanjani leyo gap ngokukhuluma ubuze mama uright nje umama usathola kahle, you know. And abantu besifazane, they love these conversations. Mhlambe nina nazi bonke bona basuke bengazi bazoqala kanjani. Angithi ngisho ne-issue nje, say for example an issue pertaining in household, women just don't approach you. They go, they plan. Okay, let me plan for him when we are having breakfast. Uzothola ukuthi indaba uhlale nayo from last week, but they are looking for an opportune time to actually introduce Linda. So indaba ye sexuality and the way we approach sexuality is like that. So just towards my conclusion, I've written these two important factors, which communicate with your partner and sounding the alarm, to check your heart and your prostate, because those are the two organs in men that actually age much quicker than any other organ. So I've put things engizibekela phansi are things that unfortunately isibhamu ezenza ukuthi singasebenzi kahle, and things that I put up are things that are actually good for maintaining your whole body but making sure ukuthi your sexual health is optimum. So lifestyle changes, you know, because indaba ye sexual health is an area of my interest. I must declare this openly so that I don't get into trouble with the Health Professions Council, which I'm not a specialist in the field of sexual health. It's my area of interest. I specialize in occupational medicine and health. But things like lifestyle changes, you know, it's been scientifically confirmed. Umuntu, as they gain weight, the gun actually shortens in size and it shrinks. The more you gain weight, you lose length, you lose width, you lose bone. It gets shorter, it gets thinner, and it may appear to you the same size, but unfortunately, I need a muscle. This is a muscle. So the moment you gain more weight, that muscle that is supposed to be firm and give you a proper erection is replaced by fat. Amafutha wenzani ngoba uyatoboza nje. Amafutha ngithatha tobo. So kuzothi tobo. And so men are encouraged not to live sedentary lifestyle. Taking a walk, jogging should be part of your life. It shouldn't be a question, you know, on whether it's convenient. It's like how routinely it is part of you to go to work. You must set aside in 24 hours at least 20 minutes of exercise, something that's going to make your heart to race, something that's going to make your body to sweat. You will see. Angeke ize ningfonele uDr. Sithole ngidinga umjovo, you know, uzoyizola wena isibhamu usayibo kwenzakalani nanga ugani, what is happening. So it's important, you know, balanced diets, the things that we eat, quitting drugs, smoking, alcohol. These are the enemies of the gun. If you are a smoker, we explained that the gun has a lot of blood vessels. So if you are smoking, you are closing those blood vessels. They should be pushing, and the gun requires a lot of blood. In fact, during a maximum erection, the body it's been scientifically proven that blood pressure yomuntu kuleya area nje iyodwa yenyuka idlule the whole body, in the blood pressure that just goes into that gun. So if you are doing izinto ezingekho right in terms of your lifestyle, unfortunately, things that we underestimate, sleep and adequate body rest, are all things that contribute to the gun is working optimally. So the other things I'm hoping to share the slides. I don't want to overstay my welcome. In closing, I've got some did you know statements. Number one, I've mentioned it already, that Being overweight shortens your male genitalia. It shrinks in size. Men also experience what we call menopause in women, where the hormones emzibeni that drive sexuality will drop. Generally in men, it's much later, men at the ages of 50 and above. So it's referred to andropause, which is why we encourage men to take testosterone replacement. It doesn't harm anything in your body. Testosterone is what your body produces. But with age, it reduces. So when you replace that, you can ensure that your gun is working optimally. And then prostate cancer is curable if diagnosed early, which is the highest killer of men. And the other thing is, for Mahala from me, size does matter. Science proves, even just from interacting with women, size matters. There are safe options that are out there, like how women are fascinated about their breast size. Men are fascinated as well with size. And there are enlargement options that are safe, that have been proven scientifically, because it's funny because a lot of men cheat from research. This is not from me. But listen to this one. But a lot of men think that women do not cheat. What if I told you that the same amount or same percentage, if we were saying 40%, I'm looking at, say, married men or men in stable relationships versus women who are in stable relationships. What if I told you, if with men we're looking at 40%, with women we are looking at 39%. I'm speaking about married women who cheat. So unfortunately, a lot of men believe that women do not cheat. And one of the biggest contributors is the size. So, it's mahala from me. Do your research. There are safe ways, and it even starts with e-communication, and sometimes, unfortunately for medical reasons where people are on medication and all that, it's very important for you to speak to your doctor from now on. If you are on any chronic medicines, please speak to your doctor, because some of the doctors, they just, not because they are ignorant, but it's not, for them, sex is not the first thing that's in their mind about you. If your sugar is not controlled, your GP wants your sugar down. They don't care about your gun. So it's very important to communicate these things. When you see a change in your sexuality and you are on chronic medication, to speak to your doctor, because you might be on medication that's compromising the gun. And the gun is not working, that it's the BP medication. Things like even your flu medication, antihistamines that we take just for your ordinary flu, can actually have an effect on your gun. And you try it at night and the mama is like, God, you just drank some Allergex, and the Allergex is now acting on the gun. Sonja iloko and environmental factors, occupational factors are some. And screen time, please limit your screen time in terms of the cell phone. I know now, before we were very educated when cell phones came, that we switch off our cell phones. But science proves that there is so much radiation in our bodies. And for the male, both male and females, it's a chemical environment. So this radiation is unfortunately stealing from this chemical. It actually alters this chemical environment for us to optimally, perform. Sonja, in closing, I have this beautiful psalm from the Bible. I was very afraid, but I just said, you know what? The scripture says, "Blessed is everyone who fears the Lord, who walks in His way." So when this men's conference was titled, I even put it at the beginning of my presentation as hashtag be that man of integrity. That a man of integrity, doesn't do things because men see them. You know, when you have that knowledge that God sees you wherever you are, what the decisions that you make, the interactions that you make, you know, I'm very intrigued that we discussed with Prof outside, and we were speaking about accountability. That unfortunately, as a generation, we are a generation that has moved away from accountability. I remember we even mentioned the issue of virginity testing, to say that at some point sexuality was such an open thing in society. I'm not saying it's still relevant in our times, but I was just pulling it to say that people used to account even about their sexuality to that point that when a mother says, come, let me check if you are involved with anyone sexually, the girl wouldn't say, no, it's my right. You can't ask me about that, which we find is now the order of the day, even in families, where ubaba, you know, gladly is out of the home for the weekend and comes back home, and umama uphekile ugezile akasho uvelaphi. Do you think sex is uqhubeka? And then usubona wena ezubaba usuthi okay, ipeni liyabhala ngaphandle ekhaya libhala ipeni. It's because there's so much tension already that we are not dealing, and we are failing to account and lead, you know, properly, because you account to the people that you lead. A good leader is a leader that can account to the people that they lead. So if we are, we will definitely walk in integrity. These are my contact details. You know, I'll just give it to the organizers. If there's anyone that has any other burning questions to share because of time, I thank you all, and may God bless you.